Today on DNVR Buffs Live, the latest on Colorado's quarterback situation, what to expect this weekend, and the latest on Coach Prime's health. We're all thinking of you, Coach. Let's do this. Let's go!
Squad! Coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by the front range Toyota stores, is DNVR Buffs Live. We're on to Iowa State, and tons to talk about today. Lots to talk about today.
Yes.
How we feeling?
I'm a little sad because this is the last time I'll be doing a show with you guys for a while.
Yeah.
Headed across the pond for Broncos Jets in London. And then the next week's the Buffs bye week. So it coincided nicely for me to stay in Europe for another week. But it does mean that, I don't know, 10, well, I guess it'll be like 8 or 9 straight shows without me, without you guys. I will be reachable.
Yeah.
So maybe, if something interesting or good happens, I can hop on.
Okay.
I will be watching the Buffs game from a pub in London.
It's going to be at a good time
on
for you
Saturday
out there,
night.
too.
Yeah, it'll be 8:30 p.m. out there.
Nice.
So, I'm a little bummed. I will be missing my third game at Folsom Field since 2001.
Wow. Crazy.
2001. Is that when you were born?
Right around there. I don't remember much from 01, I ain't gonna lie.
Hopefully this one goes better than the last 2 that I missed.
Yes.
But yeah, someone did point out in one of the group chats on Twitter that technically the last game I missed was UCF.
Yes.
It's just the last home game. So it's actually third home game in 25 years.
Right.
That is absolutely insane, dog. What are you most looking forward to doing while you're out there for that 2 or so weeks out there in London?
Honestly, the thing I'm looking forward to most is we are doing a live podcast from a theater.
It's so lit.
It's gonna be
On
sick.
Friday night in London. So if anyone's in London,
Pull up.
It has a chance to be one of our coolest things ever. We're collaborating with a couple of European content creators as well.
Nice.
So we're gonna make it something really fun. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm going to Edinburgh. I don't know how the
Nice
people.
try.
I'll learn.
Yeah.
I'll learn when I get over there how they really say it. After London, and then I'm going back to England for Leeds United,
Ooh.
my squad,
Yeah.
playing at Burnley. So going to a road game,
That's lit.
be a road dog, and then coming back to London to fly home.
That's gonna be fire, bro. I'm
We'll hold
excited
it
for
down
you.
for you.
Hell yeah. Most definitely.
Please do.
We got you. All right, lots to get to today. And honestly, some of it's probably just going to have to go to tomorrow. So let's start right away. We had Coach Prime's press conference today. Clearly, the quarterback situation and Coach Prime's health are the 2 biggest things, biggest questions that we had coming into this. But let's start with the quarterbacks. Here's Coach Prime, asked about what he saw from Kaidon Salter on Saturday, then asked about where Julian Lewis is in his development, and then just talking about, being a dog and a leader and the pressure of coming to Colorado and playing for this football team.
I saw what you saw. We got to do better, guys. You know that. We got to do better, and we will. He's coming around the mountain when he comes. I'm not going to point the finger at just this group. But you got to understand, man, when you come into an environment like this and you say you're a dog, you better bark. Because if not, the fan base is going to tell you who you are. And if you're crazy enough to look at that and see and allow them to tell you what you are, you're not that. So, and you can't placate and play leadership anymore. Like these guys know. Like if you're going to stand up in the locker room and proclaim, this is my team and I'm that leader, you better play because they go call you out. That's what today's society is. And they're doing such. So you got a lot of guys that may be scared to take that leap of faith of leadership because they ain't got the game to back it up. But it's some tremendous young men in there that's doing a wonderful job of leading. And I'm proud of them. I really am. And some are leading from the back. You don't have to always lead from the front. You can lead from the front, the middle, or the back. One thing about my players, they know exactly where I stand. There's no assumptions on anything, how I feel about them or anything. So there's no assumptions of any of the guys in that locker room or coaches.
There's a lot there. What stood out to you, though?
Juju is coming around the mountain when he comes. I don't know what to make of that.
I don't think anyone does.
I don't know what that means.
I will say it doesn't sound like that's probably not happening anytime soon. To me, it feels like it will happen soon. And I know we had a whole kind of debate on Saturday after the game about when's the right time to play Juju. But I talked to someone who knows him well today, and we kind of talked about my thoughts of, I don't know if at Utah is the best place to start a freshman quarterback. And I kind of got the same thing I get anytime I talk to someone about Juju. That shit just doesn't matter to him.
Don't matter.
Just won't matter for him. Which I love that attitude. I still, if I were the coach or the decision maker, I would still try to make sure I curate the environment as much as I possibly can. But I think the truth is, save for, I don't know, a special performance this weekend by Kaidon Salter, I think Juju's time will come either at Utah or home to Arizona the game after that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I said a couple weeks ago, that this team had to win one of the next two, one of those games being the TCU game and
BYU.
No,
or
being the
Iowa
TCU or this
Iowa
week against
State.
Iowa State. This team had to win one of those two. They obviously folded on one of those opportunities last week against TCU. You have another opportunity to pull off an upset against a top 25 team at home, something that has eluded you, at least against BYU. You had the great opportunity to do something there. This program hasn't beaten a top 25 opponent since the 2023 season opener against TCU. So any opportunity you have to pull off an upset like that and beat a top 25 team in front of your building, you got to take full advantage of that opportunity. And I think that's why we're going to see Kaidon Salter again this weekend. But to your point, and back to my point, if they don't win, if he doesn't look special, to use your words, like the bye week, in my opinion, has to be used to prepare Julian Lewis for his first career start. And it would be one thing if he didn't get a very limited sample size of reps a few weeks ago against Delaware in front of the home crowd. He's felt it a little bit. Obviously, everybody would have liked to see him with more opportunities in that game. But when he makes his first career start, it won't be his first action at this level, which I think is a good thing. And that's kind of what I said Saturday after the game, too, why it doesn't phase me and why I don't think it would phase Julian Lewis to start on the road at Utah. Because he's built for this, man. He has been playing up in age since he was a shorty, since he was a jit. He has been playing against elite competition since he was a shorty. So
Juju actually played his first high school start as a 14-year-old on the road, not even in the state. It was in the state of Alabama.
Wow.
And I think he threw for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns.
There you go.
And we're seeing it all throughout college football right now. These true freshman quarterbacks, when they're given an opportunity, sometimes it might not always be pretty, but that's kind of what you expect when you start a true freshman, that there are going to be growing pains, that there are going to be moments of learning. And the sooner you can get that process started with Julian Lewis, I think the better.
I mean, totally. That's been my point really since Georgia Tech. I mean, before the season, actually, I remember saying it. You know, the sooner Julian plays and you make that transition, the better for the long-term health of the program and everything to do with that, right? In terms of the quote, though, Coach said that ahead of Delaware, I think.
Coming around the mountain when he
comes.
Yeah.
So I don't know how close that is. But here's the thing. Coach is very old school. He's not afraid to tell you that, and it's pretty apparent with just how he functions and how the program functions. So when I think of that, and you consider the Delaware game, which was, 5 plays for Julian, whatever it was?
Something like that.
That still counts as a game. If they have any thought at all of preserving his red shirt, they'd have to wait till West Virginia, which, again, that's on the road. But, I mean, that also reminds me of a quote from someone we've talked a lot about on this podcast, Dylan Gabriel, when he was asked about getting his first start last week. And he says, you wait for the perfect time, you're going to wait a whole lifetime. So for me, I've always been ready.
Did you interpret that as a shot? A lot of people did.
A lot of people did.
No. That's
Perfect time.
Oh, no. Anyways, I think that applies to Julian, though. Like, you can look at the schedule and you can pick a game and you go, oh, this is the perfect one.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, they're going to have, their top defensive player back this week, and this maybe the next week. Sometimes it's just sink or swim when it comes to these freshman quarterbacks.
Throw him in the 5.
And with Coach Prime, I don't think he's all the way with the current wave of coaching where, you start the guy and you let him sink or swim and your program the next 3 years is just defined by that. I think he does take into account his red shirt, how young he is. And as Coach has said, I mean, I remember when we asked him ahead of the Delaware game about Julian, and he spoke about how much he loved that kid and how much, he sees in him and how much he does want to protect him too. Yeah. So it's a conflicting kind of situation with where you're at with the current quarterback situation, but I think Coach truly does have Julian's best interests at heart, and that's what his plan is acting on that.
The original meaning of the song "She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain" was a spiritual song about the second coming of Christ.
Interesting.
That is interesting. It is
I
interesting.
mean, Coach, he doesn't say very much by mistake.
Over time, as the song was adapted by railroad workers in other contexts, she became associated with the train and later represented an exciting, anticipated arrival, like visitors or deliveries.
There you go.
Y'all ever seen I forget the name of it right now. It was like a Halloween movie with Eddie Murphy back in the day. Dion, you remember this one? It's like I'm gonna just Google it real quick. But that was like a main
Halloween movie with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
I like how as soon as we didn't go, you just go straight to Dion.
The Haunted Mansion. Y'all never seen the Haunted Mansion?
That. Yes.
The Haunted Mansion was fire.
Sounds really familiar.
But that was like a main part, like song that they sang in that movie as well. For some, like the
how do you remember that?
More of a Halloween Town guy myself.
Halloween Town was fire.
And what's the other one?
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus
Pocus was fire. Hocus Pocus or Halloween Town though?
Halloween Town.
Yeah,
it's the GOAT for me.
No, for sure. Chill, Ivan.
It wasn't only Dion. He asked us originally.
Thanks. But now, one thing I noticed too is like, especially the last couple weeks, Coach Prime is not saying anything negative about Kaidon Salter, even when he is almost pressed to do so. And he had plenty of opportunities after Kaidon throws, 3 first half interceptions after that game, even today, to even just say something to the effect of like, we can't do that from the core. We got to be better from the core position, or we got to protect the full. He hasn't said anything like that. The closest thing that you can kind of say that Coach Prime has said in regards to that is, y'all saw what I saw. And he has certainly said that multiple times, and you can kind of interpret that how you want. I know how I'm interpreting it. We saw that, Kaidon obviously struggled on Saturday, and I would say he struggled for the good portion of the last 2 weeks, the last 2 games, especially after taking a 14-0 lead in both of those games. But I think it has something to do with what you're talking about, with him just being kind of an old school guy, an old school type of coach who doesn't want to speak ill, certainly of his staff, certainly not of his players, because for being real, I mean, that type of stuff can really only divide a team more than it might already be, maybe potentially at some point. So,
wait, first of all, what was the meaning of bringing up Haunted Mansion?
Coming around the mountain.
It's prominently featured in the movie?
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Okay. I feel like Coach Prime can tell us a lot of things without having to say them.
Yes.
And I think that's a lot of what he does in these scenarios because of what you mentioned. He's not going to throw anyone under the bus. But he's also told us exactly what he wanted.
Right.
And he, loves to say, I saw what you saw. Like, we all know why you're asking the question.
Yeah.
We don't have to like pretend, but I'm not going to say what you want me to say.
Yeah,
For sure.
But I know it has to be better.
And I think he was asked another one too to say about that, and Coach Ryan was like, he was asked, how do you kind of assess the quarterback spot right now? And he was like, I'm gonna leave that up to y'all.
No. Let's take our first break, and then we'll get back and talk about, or Coach Prime talk about his update on his health. Shout out to our friends over at Common Spirit Health. Whether you're an athlete, a weekend warrior, just maintaining your health, they got you covered. They got a team of qualified and passionate providers who specialize in the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of sports-related injuries for all athletes, including the mighty Denver Broncos players who had an all-time win on Sunday.
Hell yeah.
God, that was good.
It really was.
Hell of a win.
Our friends at Common Spirit, they're experts, understand the unique demands your body faces, so you get personalized treatment plans, combining things like physical therapy, injury prevention strategies, and strength training. It isn't just about fixing what's broken, it's about preventative care as well. So hit them up. Don't let an injury keep you on the bench, or even better, get proactive about your health. For more info, visit mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos. Go Broncos.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Taco Bell. You guys have heard us talk. First of all, happy Taco Tuesday.
Happy Taco Tuesday.
But also, you guys have heard us talk about the new Cantina chicken menu. And honestly, if you haven't had something from the Cantina chicken menu, I just can't recommend it enough because the chicken is so just delicious. It's slow roasted. It's got the chilies. It's got the garlic in that slow roast. It's super tender. It's got that that it just has the color of food that tastes good. I don't know how to explain it other than that.
It's true.
What a way to describe it, honestly.
You just have to one look at it, you're like, yep, that's gonna hit. My favorite one is the Cantina chicken crispy taco. That goes crazy. But I also had that bowl that they delivered to us. Just the Cantina chicken bowl. Got to be one of the healthier things on Taco Bell's menu.
That bowl a hit.
Still hit. It's got the beans and the rice and
Yes.
the lettuce and the sour cream. And of course, a nice helping of the Cantina chicken. So check it out with our friends over at Taco Bell. And of course, shout out to our friends at Taco Bell for donating $1,000 to the Golden Buffaloes Scholarship Fund for every CU touchdown scored. As you guys know, Buffs love the bell.
Squad.
All right, so just going back to what we were talking about Coach not throwing anyone under the bus. First off, he's not going to say things just because you guys want to hear it. Because that's exactly what it is. People just want to hear him say certain things. And to Scott's point, what benefit does that do other than you're hearing him say it? It's not going to help the team. It's not going to help any of potential, division or whatever fissures are going on in the team and the
Good word.
Just the chemistry of everything going on. Plus, if Coach Prime wanted to throw someone under the bus, he's had so many opportunities to, and he's always passed on it. Sean Lewis, he strictly said, we're not going to demean Sean Lewis when he was asked about his demotion. Never said anything bad about Sean Lewis. Never said anything bad about Cormani. Yes, did he publicly challenge him when it was finally getting to a breaking point? He did. But he never said anything oh, this kid is a total problem. He's created. He never said that. Bishop
and even
Thomas.
at the end, in our exclusive interview with him, he said, in the end, we just weren't the right place for him.
Yes.
And it just that just happens sometimes.
Yeah. Bishop Thomas could have said a ton of things about him. Said nothing. Juju Mitchell, same exact thing. He's not going to throw Kaidon Salter under the bus. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to get the answer you're looking for. But as Coach Prime said, he sees what he sees. He's the damn head football coach, man. Yeah. He watches the tape. It's a very delicate situation. As we've talked about, this is turning into a bit of a transition year. So he's managing that transition.
Definitely. And I noticed something on Well Off. And again, this is me making my interpretation, not anything anyone said to me. But I watched the interactions between Kaidon and Coach Prime on the sideline. And I don't know if they're a personality match for each other as a head coach quarterback combo. And that was one of my biggest things with Juju when he was coming here. I was like, man, I just think he's so cut out for this. He's so perfectly built to be the next Coach Prime quarterback. And obviously, Kaidon came here and he's a really talented player who had done a lot of awesome things in his career. But someone also pointed out to me recently, it's just an unfortunate thing. It's obviously no one's fault, and there's nothing you can do about it. But Coach Prime having to deal with his health issues over the summer, and that's an unfortunate thing for Kaidon that he didn't have. Like, they didn't get to build a relationship really until fall camp started.
Yeah.
And again, that's just no one's fault. But just going back to, what Coach Prime said about Cormani, like this wasn't the right place for him. Totally different situation. But I do think there's some times where like the personalities just don't line up. Like, again, not directly comparing these things, but like Sean Payton and Russell Wilson was never going to work.
Yes.
That's just not a personality match. I do think there is a lot of cohesion between Coach Prime and Juju, and I'm looking forward to seeing them get to build on that. But I don't know, I took a mental note watching that, like, I don't know if this was ever going to be a perfect fit.
I think I know exactly which interaction you're talking about during the game, and I felt the same. I felt the same exact way, and I don't know if that's something that could be fixed, at least at this point of the year,
No.
right? And I think the biggest reason probably that we can point to is exactly what you pointed out. The offseason is where that relationship and trust,
The dog days,
gets built. It's exactly what they say. The dog days of winter conditioning, the dog days of spring football, of even summer workouts leading into fall camp. Like, that's when you kind of get on the same page and build that rapport with your position coach, with your head coach, and et cetera. And with Coach Prime obviously not there for obvious health reasons, it hurt, I think, him and K Salt's relationship and their ability to interact on a day-to-day basis, or even when the live bullets are flying on Saturday nights. But that's just the unfortunate reality of what happened. Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Exactly.
That's the fact of the matter at this point. Is there's no going back. You're in this situation. He's clearly protecting Julian. I mean, he said it 5 weeks ago how he feels about Julian. I mean, he's got a bright future ahead of him. All that stuff he said. But again, it's just he's kind of just getting through this transition year as best as he can. I mean, this is new for him too, and the team is what it is right now. I mean, he's just doing the best he can in this situation. We can talk and throw out all these theories, and we can do the post-game show and say Julian needs to start now all we want. If coach doesn't feel like it's time to do those things, he's just not going to do it.
Yeah, and I also would be remiss not to bring up, which we've obviously talked about it a lot, but I don't think the offense was built enough around Kaidon Salter, and I don't think that that's a Coach Prime problem. I just think that there was an opportunity there to take a lot more of what worked at Liberty, and I personally don't see enough of that.
It's also another reason why I wish this team, moving forward, adds a real quarterback coach to this coaching staff. Somebody who can be an additional buffer between the offensive coordinator, the play caller, and the quarterback, or even between the quarterback and the head coach. Yep. Because, again, even from my experience like that quarterback coach can a lot of times be, I just use the word buffer, but kind of be like an additional like friend. Like, you don't always look at them as like a head coach. Like, that quarterback coach, every position has their position coaches, right? Mm-hmm. Except the quarterback on this team, which I think is a bit unfortunate. Shermer is kind of in that role right now, but it's not an official capacity. Mm-hmm. That's not part of his title. He's the offensive coordinator. Yeah. And I just feel like the addition of a quarterback coach could have really helped with the transition for Kaidon into this team, into this program, into this offense. And I truly believe it will help and could help Juju as he develops with this program as well.
Totally. All right, moving on. Coach Prime obviously mentioned potentially having blood clots in his foot after the TCU game on Saturday. And he was upfront with it. He told everyone, no questions. I'll address it at the end of the press conference today. So here's what he said at the end of today's press conference.
Today, I don't even know the name of it or the title of it. I know it's long. Do we have the name? Yeah. Yeah, it's a long procedure, but I'm having a procedure today. Prayerfully, I'll be right back tomorrow because I don't miss practice. I don't plan on doing such, but it is what it is, and we found what we found. We knew what it was, so I have a wonderful team of doctors in UC Health and wonderful team of trainers here to make sure and ensure my health. And it's not like I'm doing something. I got a lot of well wishes of people talking about, you need to slow down, you need to, take a break. It has nothing to do with me working in the level that I'm trying to compete at. It's hereditary. It is what it is. It's nothing that I could have done to stop what's transpiring, nothing that I could have taken or something that I'm just not abiding by. It is what it is. Sometimes it's just what it is. And I trust God with all my heart and all my soul and all my mind. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to get some of the best sleep in the world for, I think, 4 hours the surgery's going to be. I mean, I can't wait to get that Snoop Dogg. I call it that Snoop D-O-double-G. Because I've never been high a day in my life. I never drank, smoked, anything. But when I get those surgeries, I am there on time. Woo, thank you, Lord. So the team of anesthesiologists, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, they're wonderful. So UC Health takes care of me. I cannot wait to go get past this hurdle. But thank you for your well wishes, for your sentiments, everybody out there. I appreciate you all the calls and texts, and my son being here today to root me on and pray with me and pray for me. So I love you all, and I'm gonna be all right. Thank you, and God bless you.
Shout out to Coach, man. Always finding something to laugh and smile about. But
Coach finna get off that Snoop Dogg. Be feeling right.
I mean, as we speak right now, he might be in surgery. But yeah, as he said, they clearly know what it is.
Yeah.
He was spot on. Saturday after the game, clearly they've been through this before ahead of TCU. That one was kind of unexpected, a little bit more scary, right?
Yeah.
But this one, they know the issue, so praying for Coach, obviously, and hope he's back at practice as soon as he wants to be.
First and foremost, thoughts with Coach Prime. I have family members who are constantly dealing with something with their health, and it just takes such a warrior's personality to just like always have an ache, always have a pain, always have an issue, always be going to the doctor. So I have so much sympathy for Coach Prime and so much respect for what he endures on a daily basis to be able to lead these young men, which I think is what he feels is a calling for him, despite what a lot of people thought his motivations were to get into coaching. So that's first and foremost. Second, from our very own Scott Procter, he said, quote, Coach Prime will undergo an aspiration thrombectomy today, a surgery to remove blood clots from his popliteal and tibial arteries. And my question to you, Scott, is how many Google searches did it require to get that tweet off?
Just a couple. No chat GPT involved. Just good old Google and a verifiable source. I also made a phone call to my mother, who is very abreast in the healthcare business. So went out and had her kind of just explain to me a little bit about what Coach Prime is doing today. And, after I tweeted that, Lauren, who's obviously a good friend of the show, we love Lo, she quote retweeted that tweet. So it sounds like the exact text the doctor sent me. So, that's what Coach Prime is dealing with. Pretty much it's just a release plaque buildup pretty much from the arteries kind of in his tibia and kind of his lower leg area pretty much. So it's a non-invasive procedure / surgery.
That's good.
Which is really good, right? Again, he said it right there. Should be about 4 hours. He'll be, under, so to speak. And if all goes well, he should be back at practice tomorrow and certainly on the sideline Saturday as his normal self. So that's awesome to hear. And like you mentioned, Jake, that is maybe the best news we could have gotten today as it relates to his health, because there's nothing worse than not knowing what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Facts.
the fact that his medical team was able to, at least at this point, identify what's going on and have a fix ready to go, and him be able to do it right away as soon as today is massive news. So we love to hear that. Praying for Coach Prime and hoping he comes on the other side of this even better.
We've Scotty Pockets, Scott Procter.
Dr. Proctor?
Now we've got Dr. Proctor.
Man of many talents.
Squad.
All right, let's take our next break, and then we'll wrap up what Coach Prime had to say and talk about the NFL Buffs.
Shout out to the squad, our good friends over at Coors Light, man. Are they even going to have Coors Light out there in London for you, bro?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Coors Light's international. By the way, someone said no Taco Bell in the UK. Wrong. Had it last time. It is different there, though. Much to my surprise.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All of that stuff is, though.
Too different for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to just have to side with American Taco Bell.
No problem with that.
Coors Light, though, that's the same everywhere.
Facts. You can get Coors Light right here in Colorado. You can get it across the pond, even in London. But nothing changes because when those mountains turn blue, y'all already know it's as cold as the Rockies. The Coors Light is cold lagered, it's cold filtered, and it's cold packaged for such a smooth finish. When you embrace the chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered right straight to your door. All you got to do is visit CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Please celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer. Shout
Already?
out Coors Light. Yeah.
3:30, bro.
And also shout out to our homies over at Toyota, man. I mean, you already know. We love Toyota here at DNVR. Shout out to everyone in the Toyota chat. And shout out to Toyota for sponsoring the lounge here so that we can bring these great shows to you 5 days a week. But trucks are a part of Toyota's DNA. They have been for generations. They got the all-new 2025 Tacoma and the return of the iconic 2025 Land Cruiser. They also have 17 available models with off-wheel or all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, including the Epic 4Runner. Hybrids as well, if that's more of your thing. They even got trucks, Tundra iForce Max hybrid truck, plus 16 other options. But it's for real Toyota. I mean, I took RKs or drove RKs home a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Smooth, reliable ride, always keeping you pointed into the right direction. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East, and Aurora and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. All right, going back to Coach Prime's presser. We talked about this on Saturday in the postgame show. This is not a bad football team. I mean, again, the record says what you are, but if you're watching the games and you look at, you know, how a lot of these end, the BYU game in particular, the Georgia Tech game, like CU's in these, even TCU. I mean, it was a 14-point margin, but clearly with that touchdown being scored about 30 seconds left or whatever, it was a one-possession game for the majority of it. So Coach Prime spoke on how close he thinks the team is to turning the corner. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, we're playing good football except for a couple quarters. I mean, defensively, you may give up the third quarters that haven't been kind. Offensively, coming back out of halftime as well hadn't been kind. The first two quarters we played good, pretty decent football. Second quarter we got to do a lot better. But the reason I'm still excited about this team that finished practicing is because I don't feel like we've gotten our butt kicked. I feel like we've just wrapped it up and we've given it to them. And that's frustrating, but also there's hope in that we see where we messing up at. We see where the faults are, and we got to fix that. So there's truly optimism, and I'm sure you see the same darn thing. You're like, dang, here we go again. Like, you know, we're that right there. We're not a bad football team. I'm not saying we're a great football team, but we're not a bad football team. We're better than we're playing. We don't want to just hang in. We want to win. And I was just going to say something, but you guys would have took it the wrong way and ran with it, so I'm not going to say that. Close. Not far away. I mean, really close. I'm not talking about with binoculars that we can see it. I'm talking about close. We could darn near touch it. That's how close we are.
He's not wrong. He's not.
No.
It's just unfortunate how short a college football season is. Like,
Yep.
it's damn near midnight,
Yeah.
and we're still close. And that's just the reality of the situation. Like I said, I don't disagree with him. You've played against 3 ranked or close to ranked teams. I don't think that TCU should have been taken out of the top 25 after losing to ASU. So you've played 3 of them. You've had a lead on all of them. And you've had a chance in the fourth quarter, either been tied or in front of them in the fourth quarter in all those games. It is clear that you are close. I would also contend that this is definitely a better football team than they had in 2023.
100%.
It's not a better it's not a better team than last year. And much of that has to do with the fact that you lost 2 absolute superstars.
Yeah.
I think that there was a lot of hope in Buff Nation that would be able to be mitigated by improving the depth and improving the offensive line and et cetera. And the offensive line is much improved. The depth on the team is improved. But I think we underestimated how hard it would be to replace the Heisman Trophy winner and, in my opinion, the best quarterback in America last year. And so, we're back to close. We're further along than they were before that season. But it's just a weird place to be. Someone was talking about in the chat how I always talk about the win, lose big, lose close, win big. We're back in the lose close phase. And it could happen anytime. It could happen this weekend. Mm-hmm. They find a way to get across it. Broncos did it against the Eagles.
Yep.
Right. All it takes is one.
All it takes is one. I really believe that for the team to have that mojo. But it's a frustrating place to be.
And it wasn't that you lost, obviously, Shedeur and Travis, who were immense talents. It's like those are the team's closers. When the game was tight, when the game was late, those are the guys that you relied on and knew that they were going to come up clutch every single time because that's what they did and that's what they do. The first part of that quote there from Coach Prime, he goes, "We're playing good football except for a couple of quarters." He's right. It's just unfortunate that those couple of quarters almost always are the third and fourth quarter.
Yep.
In the second half of games this year, Colorado is being outscored 86-53. They're being outscored by 33 points in the second half of games this year. They've been outscored in the second half of every game this year, except for the Delaware game.
Yep.
That's how you lose, especially, when you've taken a 14-0 lead in 2 of those games. You had a 7-0 lead on Georgia Tech, including 3 takeaways in the first quarter of that game as well, and you end up losing all 3 of those. So that's the theme, the story of this team for me this year is the inability to close, the inability to finish. And that's what Coach Prime is talking about. Talent is not an issue. Talent is certainly not an issue if you lose to 2 currently ranked top 25 teams by a total of 10 points. Clearly, talent isn't an issue. It's the inability to finish games, to play 4 quarters of football, and to put teams away. It's that killer instinct that we talked about, that Coach Prime brought up after a win.
Yep. Coach
Prime was talking about, wish we had more of a killer instinct. They were up 28-3 on Wyoming. That was a 10-point game in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. That type of stuff, although it didn't cost you that day, it certainly cost you the last 2 weeks. That lack of killer instinct, that lack of ability to just put a team away when you got them on the ropes.
Yep.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. It didn't end up working for Vic Fangio in Denver, but his kind of motto when he got here was death by inches. And the concept was you can't let any little things fall through the cracks because eventually little things become big things, and that's how you lose games.
Yep.
And, it goes back to kind of my big takeaway from the game on Saturday was just there's too many little things.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the root of all of that is, but the execution of the football stuff, aside from just running this play and doing that, is missing right now. And even what you're saying about killer instinct, Coach Prime preaches, don't just win, but dominate.
Dominate.
And there's a reason he does that.
Yep.
And it's just because of what you're talking about with Wyoming. That was a symptom of a problem that, like you said, did not cost them that day. But this team, I think, doesn't have the finishing ability, doesn't have the killer instincts because of the inches, because of the little intricate details. Did you run that route exactly where you were supposed to? Did you
attack the right shoulder if you're a receiver blocking? Did you get to the right shoulder?
Yes.
That type of little stuff.
Those little things, I think, are what separate it.
How you do anything is how you do everything.
Yep.
That's just how football is. There's too many details, too many moving parts, too many people who have jobs to not, on an individual standpoint, execute your job to the best of your ability to near perfection.
And it's just a weird thing in college football in 2025 where every team almost exists in a vacuum because there's so much turnover and so much change. Yeah. And there are going to be seasons where like it all clicks and everything's great and you line them up and you go out there and you have all of this stuff. There are going to be other seasons where like some little symptom that you couldn't have ever predicted happens, and it's just like about the guys that you added that year or the guys that you didn't add that year that causes things to happen. So it's a weird thing because in the NFL, if a head coach is a coach for 3 years and stuff like, and there's a symptom in there, it's like, okay, well, he's got to fix that. But it's so different to me in college football now where it's like 2023 felt really nothing like 2024. 2025 feels really nothing like 2024 or 2023. It's like this weird world we live in where every season exists in a silo.
Yeah. And they're not the only team that it's like that for.
No. I mean, it's like you see it across the nation.
Yeah.
And speaking of, how about the dumpster fire? That is North Carolina.
Oh, here we go. I was going to save this for tomorrow. Let's go.
I got to get this off my chest before I leave the country.
Yeah, go for it.
People would have been having parades.
Yep. Yes, they would
if
have.
Coach Prime came to Colorado and was the absolute tire fire inside of a dumpster fire, inside of a disaster that Bill Belichick has put together over there in North Carolina. And it's just a little too quiet for me.
I agree.
Just a little too quiet for me.
Sarah, they're not talking about North Carolina enough for me.
And they're just like, well, we'll talk about him later.
Yep.
It's just his first year. And there's stuff coming out for sure, and there's reporting on it.
Yeah.
But boy, I mean, do you remember the words that were used about Coach Prime when he fired Sean Lewis?
Circus.
Reaction, all this stuff.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, Hulu's just out of the building. We're not going to do this anymore. And they're not allowed to post videos of the Patriots, and then they did because people found out they weren't allowed to.
Bro, that shit about Drake May is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes. And
about them, Bill Belichick giving directives not to post anything about Drake May because he plays for the New England Patriots.
Yes.
That is sick.
And
that
no
is sick
Patriots
stuff.
scouts at practice. I mean,
sick stuff.
I need to hear some of those terms and words
For real.
start to be said about what's going on out there.
They won't.
Did you read this article today?
No.
From Pat Welter from WRAL News. He spoke to parents, players, coaches, board of trustee members in the athletic department to get an idea of what's going on in that program. This article is free. Go check it out. It's a great job by Pat to do all this. This is from a source with firsthand knowledge of the program. It's an unstructured mess. There's no culture, no organization. It's a complete disaster.
Okay, now we're hearing some of the stuff that I want to hear.
A parent of a current UNC player anonymously said, "It's all starting at the top and the boys are being affected. I don't fault the players. I fault the leadership that created this toxic environment. There's an individualistic mindset. The boys are young and they are feeding into it."
Wow.
This is from another source. It started with recruits coming in, acting entitled to certain things. It was about them individually, not the team. It was about me and what I was going to do. Basically, there's like a clear divide between former players, Mac Brown players, and players that Lombardi and Belichick have brought in this offseason. Some are saying, I mean, this right here says it's common for players who transferred to get, there's multiple examples of preferential treatment of transfers that have added discord to the team. According to several sources, some Belichick recruited transfers have preferential parking for themselves and their parents, as well as more game tickets. Kamori House and Thaddeus Dixon, they played for Belichick's son Steve at Washington. Their names come up repeatedly when talking to sources about preferential treatment. Dixon's family has field access on game days, something that no other family is believed to have. There's apparently a board in the facility that when a player misses a class or a workout, they get their name on the board. Some Belichick recruited players repeatedly show up on the list but have not had their playing time affected. Another parent said there's no communication with coaches and parents, period. None. Zero. Zilch. Not one email from a coach, one text, phone call, nothing. And there's way more in this article.
That favoritism, that's a quick way to have your program, culture of a program go right down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That type of favoritism stuff that we're hearing.
What I will say is a lot of times that type of stuff is used to push people out. And what everyone threw a fit over was Coach Prime coming in here and being honest with people and saying, look, a lot of you aren't going to be here. And then they had meetings with these guys and said, we don't see a place for you on this football team. We think it would be best for you to enter the transfer portal. And that's what they did. And so there wasn't any of this petty, behind the back, try to push the old people out, and that requires some shadiness, like is being said here. It was upfront and told straight to these young men so that they could go do what was best for them. And people had a real issue with that. Mm-hmm. And there's anyone who's ever worked in a business, and I realize that college football wasn't necessarily supposed to be like this, but it is now.
Sure is now.
Knows that there's no good way to fire someone.
Yep.
There's no easy way to fire someone. But in the end, you fall back on what the best thing to do is. And I think when Coach Prime came in here under pressure to win right away, he did right by those guys by saying, "Hey, you will have a better chance to play somewhere else."
Yep.
Rather than that,
a little bit more, if we could. Obviously, Steve Belichick, his son is the defensive coordinator, and I guess his son Brian Belichick is the defensive back and safeties coach. On that, this is from another source. This is on Steve Belichick. He has not talked or had a conversation with most of the guys on defense. They don't even have his number.
What is happening?
Talking about the DC right now, right?
Yeah,
Steve?
This is the DC. But some people have said, Brian, he's actually great. He's good to be around, talks to the players, love him. Steve, nothing like that. And then this quote, no one would ever say this about Coach Prime in Colorado.
Do you mean Bill? When you said Brian? Or is there a person named Brian?
No, there's a Brian. That's the defensive back and safeties coach.
Oh, okay.
They like him.
Okay.
They like him. He's actually involved. But Steve, the DC, they do not like. No one will ever say this about Coach Prime's program, ever. The lack of experience the coaches have, it's ridiculous. And if you go, they detail it in this article about, how much or the lack of experience there is for the outside linebackers coach, the cornerbacks coach, Mike Lombardi himself, the GM, who was only ever really a scout. He wasn't ever in a high ranking position by title in the NFL. I mean, it goes on and on and on. It's crazy. They're not dressing players who aren't on the travel squad for home games. They're just kind of telling those kids, too bad, so sad, which is crazy when you see programs all the time at home games have 100-plus guys on the sideline in uniform. And, the whole movie Rudy is based on stuff like it means something to these guys, and you're just spitting in their faces. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Whereas Coach Prime is loving up his walk-ons and special teamers.
Yeah. I will say I've learned to not necessarily believe all the things that you read in these articles.
Especially from our anonymous sources.
Yes. But I will also say it rubs me the wrong way that it's just quiet from the same people who were pouncing on every single hit piece, even when they came from the most out of left field bullshit sources I've ever seen. Everyone wanted to pounce on that from an article and an author you've never even heard of until they wrote this hit piece. You'll take that and run with it and put it on your radio show and talk about it on your national TV show. But this... we're gonna let that slide.
Yep.
Don't like it.
Totally.
And let's not forget that this was weird from the jump with this whole situation with his
facts.
Boy. This has been weird from day one, and has only gotten worse since then.
It has been weird.
It's crazy.
Happy Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Scotty and I got to try the Cantina chicken bowls today. Delicious.
It kind of blew my mind. I'm not gonna lie.
We'll get to it. Here's RK and Andre though giving it a try yesterday.
And Henry.
All
right, Taco Tuesday here at DNVR. Something new. Something new. We got a little Cantina chicken bowl here. And then we got these Rockstar refreshers, which are pretty good. I got the pineapple lime. I think you guys have the fruit punch. I'm ready to take on the world after that. But let's get to these Cantina chicken bowls, which look delicious. Never had a bowl from Taco Bell.
This rice looks like a vibe.
No, that's actually really fire.
Whoa! Very good.
Wow. I might even call this health conscious.
I certainly would.
We got beans, rice. That Cantina chicken, you could put that in anything and I'm gonna love it. It's that slow roasted chicken, you got the garlic and the chilies in there and the spices. Wow. This is a whole new Taco Bell for me.
It is.
It's so good, I'm not even contributing to the actual content.
No, I kind of
just gonna eat,
Yeah. Wow. Very good.
I'm fired up about this.
Excellent.
I might
Just like my fire sauce.
I might eat two.
I am.
Hell yeah.
I might also.
All right. Happy Taco Tuesday, my friends. Live Moss.
Taco Tuesday forever.
Shout out Taco Bell.
Stuff's good, man.
Scotty.
Tap in, y'all. That Cantina chicken is something that I honestly just wasn't prepared for. It was up there on the desk this morning, and I was like, you know what? Let me dabble in. You know, I could use a bowl. I was feeling a little hungry, and that honestly just outshot all expectations I had. Yeah, shout out to Taco Bell, man. They know Bell.
Jay Anderson said, I missed the RK from after the BYU loss. That is the energy we need when it comes to the Buffs and demanding better. I don't have it in me to be that fired up every day. I do not have it in me to be that fired up every day.
No, you do not.
Also, I'm far too optimistic of a person. But once in a while, it'll catch me on the right night.
Last thing, actually, from we're going to talk about Travis and Shedeur here. Clearly, Flacco was traded to the Bengals today.
To the
I think this is
Bungles.
actually like the third interdivision trade in or quarterback interdivision trade in since the 1980s or something
Wow.
crazy.
I remember Donovan McNabb,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean he's probably the second.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Brett Favre, or was that free agency?
Who? Sorry.
Brett Favre.
Uh,
the
He went
Packers
to the
the
Jets
Vikings.
before Vikings, right?
yes.
Oh,
yes,
he did. You're right.
yes.
Jets before Vikings.
All right. Here's what Coach Prime had to say about the Browns' transition this morning.
I don't care. I don't give a damn about the Browns at all. I care about the Colorado Buffaloes. I do love me some Shedeur Sanders, don't believe that. I care about him. The rest of that mess, I don't, okay? I'm a coach trying to win just like they're trying to win games, but I could care less of who they traded.
Coach knows ball.
There's some frustration behind those words.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He knows what the Cleveland Browns are.
And we're all frustrated. Because you just will not be able to convince me by any shadow of a doubt that Shedeur Sanders would not have won a fair and square true quarterback competition in that room. You won't be able to convince me of that. I'll never believe it no matter what you say. I watched him play. I watched him prepare. I watched him practice for 2 years.
Yeah.
And there's just you'll never be able to convince me. So it's frustrating for those of us who know Shedeur. But his time's coming.
One
Matter
step
of
closer.
time.
He's coming around the mountain when he comes.
There you go.
Browns released their depth chart today, and obviously Shedeur was the QB2 on it behind Dylan Gabriel. And I think the report from Rappaport came out this weekend, right, about Shedeur, where he said that the plan is for Shedeur to play this season.
I'm sure.
When he's ready.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of the first time we've heard from a source like that the Browns clearly have a plan to get him some playing time this year. Mm-hmm. And once that happens, he ain't giving it back. Once he get out there on the field, he ain't going back to the bench.
Yep.
I'll tell you that much. So one step closer, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I agree. It is weird, though, that they now have him as QB2 because the reporting from last weekend, which I actually agreed with, was, hey, the Browns don't want to make him QB2, even though he's next in line to start, because they don't want him to be thrown out there in a situation where he wasn't given time to prepare with the ones throughout the week, which I think was the right approach. But now that's, you get a 6th for a 5th swap, and that's out the window.
Yeah. Unless you
would, in an emergency situation, go to the other quarterback. But I don't know if you're even allowed to do
you're
that.
not. The both top two would have to get hurt
Yeah.
use the emergency. But Bailey Zappi is currently on the practice squad. Mm-hmm. People are opining that he might get activated, brought up to the active roster. Obviously, the Deshaun Watson thing is kind of still out there in no man's land. I don't expect that to factor into the Browns quarterback situation at all this season. But Dylan Gabriel, we talked a little bit about his first start yesterday, Jake. And somebody had to take, and I'm not going to take credit for it, but I also don't remember who said it. And I thought it was the perfect take when they're on Dylan Gabriel's first start against the Vikings on Sunday. They were like, he played like the backup that you put in there hoping that they don't mess things up. Like, just get us through this game. Yeah. And that is, I think, spot on. That's how he played. Very conservative, very dinky and dunkish. And that is who Dylan Gabriel is just going to be. Like, nobody can ever tell you, if they're keeping it 100, in my opinion, that you watched Dylan Gabriel on Sunday and was like, yep, franchise quarterback. You can't do that.
No.
But he looks like somebody who can stick around in this league as a backup or a fringe starter for a long time. But he certainly isn't the answer at quarterback for the Browns or any franchise. So Shedeur going to get his time, and I can't wait.
I mean, going by the advanced stats, Carson Wentz by far outplayed Dylan Gabriel.
Watching the game, he did.
Dylan Gabriel had a 6.5 average depth of target. He's clearly not really attacking downfield. I don't think the Browns can really go downfield at this point, honestly.
Also true.
But yeah, he had minus 3.4 EPA for the whole game. Like, that's losing football.
The eye test is all we need.
And even with that small ADOT, average depth of target, his completion percentage was still right around like 55%. He was 17 to 30.
Yep.
So
there never was anything about him that said franchise quarterback. There,
No, of course.
There wasn't. The Browns, the way they handled their quarterback situation this entire time is so ass backwards. But that's why they're the Browns.
Exactly. Overtime. What?
Oh, yeah, we are. Oh, I forgot we started at 05.
Yeah. We're headed
I have one more thing I want to say about NFL Buffs.
Oh,
after
we
go to overtime.
Tons to talk about still.
Okay.
We're headed to overtime. If you're watching on your television, head on over to DNVR.com. We're going to wrap up the show over there. That is true. And Wentz got hurt for a bit in the game, too.
True.
Go ahead, RK.
Dion, you got to use that band hammer, my guy. Swing it. Anyways, I want to talk about the quote from Eli Manning.
Please, yeah.
About Travis Hunter. Because obviously it was completely wrong, but I feel like people are mad at the wrong thing. And I feel like the real thing to be wrong about makes it way weirder.
If you're going where I think you're going, totally.
So Eli Manning on the broadcast, they're talking about Travis Hunter. He's asked by the guests who would or how they would play Travis if you had him, and he says, well, Peyton goes, "Oh, Eli, why don't you tell him what Liam Cohen told you?"
Head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes, and he says, "Oh, Liam Cohen told me Travis didn't practice on offense at all at Colorado, and they had to come up with this system of telling him what the formation was and what route he should run from the sideline. And basically, he didn't know any of the plays." Insane narrative.
Crazy.
And people are going after Eli. I think the anger is completely misplaced.
100%.
Now, if you want to get into like journalism and all of that, then sure. Could Eli have gone and checked some well-off media videos to see if that was true? Yes, but that's not really how this works when it comes to like production meetings with coaches.
Right.
When you're a broadcaster of a game, you get exclusive access to the coaching. It's usually the head coach, maybe one of the top players on the other team, to discuss things that you can use for your notes to prepare for the game. That's what happened. Liam Cohen, allegedly, I wasn't there, told Eli Manning that. And so Eli Manning writes it down and says, "I'm going to put that in my notes for the game." Mm-hmm. Eli's not like a beat reporter trying to break a story.
Right.
He's sharing something that the coach told him. Same way that if Coach Prime sat on the podium today and said, "Did you guys know the sky is red?" You guys would put the quote out.
Right.
That doesn't make you wrong. It
Exactly.
doesn't make you wrong for sharing it. You're saying, well, it's notable because he said it. To me, it's even more notable that Liam Cohen told that to Eli Manning, given that that's completely false. And I think it's very odd that they're saying that about their top 5 first-round pick player who you're kind of like using as your franchise guy for what? As an excuse as why you're not using him enough?
Right. So MSJ TV says Coach Liam Cohen tried to clear it up on Pat McAfee today. I didn't see that. I don't know what he said, but it's clearly, if what I think happened, what you just described, he's kind of taking a shot at Coach Prime in Colorado and how they do things.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. All I know is it's completely false, and there's years and years of well-off media, Reach the People, and the pregame show footage, and even Colorado football footage to show that that's just completely false. Coach Prime addressed it directly today, said it's completely false. But I don't forget Eli sharing it. The problem I have is that the coach is saying that when it's not true.
Yes, totally. Yeah, Coach Prime called it a lie. I mean, he mentioned well off. I mean, this is almost like the hit piece stuff. It's like, it's all right there. Like, you're lying to our faces. Like, we've seen this stuff with our eyes.
Yeah.
Somebody told Liam Cohen that, right?
Probably.
What? That whole thing. That lie. Like, somebody had to have told Liam Cohen and his staff that that's what was going on in Colorado. And that's kind of where I'm at with it, too. And it makes me think about the things that were told to NFL coaches in front offices about Shedeur in the draft process.
Yep.
That's where my mind goes.
Yep.
Like, where are people getting this stuff, and why are people so comfortable lying?
So I'm saying there's just the NFL just feels like they can take shots at Coach Prime in Colorado like willy-nilly. It's crazy.
It's kind of sick.
It is sick.
Atlanta State Focus said, why would Eli say that without asking the source? Well off is a source. Call him. Well, in this case, Liam Cohen is the source.
Right.
And that's a first, that's coming from the head coach of the team. It's not he's saying anonymous sources told me that Travis Hunter. He's saying the head coach of the Jags told me this. That's notable. That's worth sharing regardless of if it's true or not because of how wrong it is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
And shout out to again, I don't really blame Liam Cohen because, again, I think that he was told those things.
But wouldn't you have figured that out in your scouting of a guy that you were willing to trade up to pick?
But this is what I was going to say. It makes me think that the Jags were, like, even overly in on Travis because they were willing to overlook maybe some of that stuff that they were told, even though it was false. They were willing to overlook that and still trade up for him and draft him number 2 overall.
Yeah, my mind is blown. I'm so glad the Jags won because fuck the Chiefs. But
facts.
I was pulling my hair out of my head watching them drive down the field with the game on the line and not give the ball to Travis Hunter.
Bro, it's been happening up until, the fourth quarter of that game? Like, this entire season, they've just ignored him offensively. It's
so
madness.
Weird. It is so weird. They also, I forget where this came from, but I think it was a meeting. They talked to Travis Hunter, and they were asking him about, 50-50 balls. He said, no, those are 100% Travis balls.
Yeah.
And he's right.
Yeah.
And that's why if you cross the 50-yard line, you should just be looking to the end zone and give Travis a chance.
I think hopefully,
at least once a game.
I think hopefully something unlocked in Trevor Lawrence last night with that ridiculous catch that Travis had. Hopefully something unlocked in him where he was like, oh, I really can just throw it up somewhere down there in his area and he gonna come down with it.
Wild.
Hopefully that clicked in Trevor Lawrence's mind last night.
And did you see the crowd view of Travis getting wide open in the end zone on the play that he ended up throwing it to De'Ami Brown on the sideline? Travis wide open break, no safety help.
It's been like that multiple times already, though.
I know. It's like it feels like he's not looking that way.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's really weird.
I mean, and even your quote unquote best receiver, Brian Thomas Jr., is struggling right now. Like, how are you not going to Travis out of defense? I'm so tired of seeing them throw the ball to Parker Washington and De'Ami Brown, bro. Their tight end is on IR now. They have no choice.
He's their leading receiver this year.
Yes,
Brenton
if he
Strange
keeps
is tight
on
end.
going, bro, just trade Travis because you're obviously not interested in using him how he's supposed to be used.
The only thing that I can think of with Trevor is that he knows how good Travis is, and he thinks maybe that the defense knows how good Travis is. And maybe he thinks that he's getting extra attention from a defense and he can almost use him as a decoy. It's like he's going to have extra attention on Travis. Let me go somewhere else where the defense isn't focused. That's the only thing I can maybe think of. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but That's the only thing because it doesn't make any sense for you to just not target the dude that you drafted second overall, who's an elite receiver. It doesn't really make sense.
I think it's more Liam Cohen who is thinking that way.
Maybe.
Because even last night they had like Travis go in motion and then fake the screen to him and throw the screen. It gets blown up, and I'm like, if you just threw the screen to Travis,
that's the better play. It's crazy. They really are overthinking this so much.
Just get the ball to 12.
Totally, man.
A wise man once said, people try to make football complicated. And it's not.
They're lucky they won that game, by the way.
Oh my God.
Extremely lucky.
Yeah. I mean, that was just a crazy game, dog. That was insane.
It was.
Thank God the Chiefs just blew it, and Chris Jones decided to let them play 10 on 11 on that play.
He's so petty for that, dude.
He's a little crybaby. That's
he
what
really
he
is, dude. He was crying during the game.
Whole
He's
team's
been doing
a bunch
that.
of crybabies, actually. Just let the old send the old guys to the retirement home. It's over in Kansas City.
Someone said, "What is Travis Hunter, wide receiver or DB? Because he ain't great at both." He was actually the Jags' highest rated player on offense and defense yesterday.
Yep.
Wild.
As a rookie, in the National Football League.
Look, he clamped up Travis Kelce on a big third down earlier in that game as well.
Well, he's washed, so I could probably do that right now.
Oh man.
Anything else?
This is a good one. I feel like I got a lot off my chest. Leaving the country with a clear mind.
I was telling Scott, I was like, I feel like we could do a 2-hour show today if we wanted to.
We could have. I just haven't packed yet, so I got to do that.
No, we'll get you out of here. We just have the one in the chat. All right, let's do it. Doyle asks, will there be a tailgate this weekend? Driving from Ames to Boulder and want to see the guys. 100%, brother. We will be there.
Pull up.
At Benson Field, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. to 1 is the official time for the tailgate. The link is on thednvr.com right now. Again, it is free. I'll tweet it out later today. We'll tweet it out from the Buffs account later today as well. But it's all there ready for you. I mean, go in there and sign up, and we'll see you this Saturday.
Hell yeah. You think there's any validity to Debbie's comment there? She goes, Eli was creating a firestorm to deflect from Arch Manning's abysmal play with Texas.
I mean, it is possible that Eli just completely made that up.
Yeah.
It'd be wild for him to be throwing Liam Cohen under the bus while making up that lie. Anyways, I'm going to miss you guys, especially you guys, but also you guys, the chat.
Wait, one more thing.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Ralphie's name?
Oh, great. I do find it funny that CU is unwilling to acknowledge the fact that it is the latest in the long line of alcohol-related names for Ralphie. I can't imagine why they would want to do that, but I love that Brandy is an alcohol-related name.
Yes. Are you familiar with the song that Brandy is named after?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
My bad. Are you?
No, I hadn't heard it. You know,
bro. You know this. Can't play.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, I thought,
bro. You guys both know this song.
Honestly, I looked at it and I was like, "This is just like 70s like band name."
It's from 1972.
I'm not gonna know it by name.
You guys 100% have heard the song.
Maybe I've heard it.
I'll play it for you right after this. I was about to play it, then I realized there's like copyright. So I'll play it for you right after this. You guys have heard the song.
Okay. All right. I like it though. I was obviously in favor of I wanted Henny was one of my favorites. Yak was my personal favorite. So
all in the same family.
Exactly, all in the same family. So I'll have no issues.
All right. As I was saying, I'm gonna miss you guys, chat. We love you guys so much. You don't know how much you mean to us.
Facts.
So I'm gonna miss you guys on the road. But I'll be back hopefully with the Buffs at 3 and 4 next time I talk to you.
Yes, sir. We'll at least get your picks on Thursday in some form or fashion.
FaceTime me. I don't know.
Sure. We'll figure it out. And hopefully we have a big win on Saturday and we can have you join us from across the pond.
Love that.
All right, chat. Real quick. Please chill in the comments. It's never that serious. Just relax. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll have another press conference tomorrow and much more to talk about. Again, we could have gone a long time today. Transfer portal stuff. There's still so much more. So we'll get to all that tomorrow. Recruiting too. And we'll see you then. Go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.